It's important for us to have a grasp of the big story, for one thing, because as human beings, we interpret everything in the context of a wider narrative. And psychologists have studied the way that people think and found that, in general, we try to construct big overarching narratives that explain the details of our lives. And we can see this in the way that even adherents to something like Darwinian evolution, they have an origin story, and then they have a story of how the world has developed, and in a way, they have a story of where the world is going. I mean, it might be some kind of climate catastrophe that they're expecting, but they do have a kind of protology or beginning and an eschatology, and then out of that story, they draw certain conclusions, like the idea that there is no absolute truth or no absolute morality, because there is no authority that has originated the story and is governing and guiding the story and so forth. So when interpreting the Bible, I think it's important to see how the biblical authors plug themselves into the wider story. So just one example of this, in the book of Daniel, in the opening verses, Daniel mentions Shinar. And by mentioning Shinar as the place where Babylon is, Daniel ties himself into the narrative that began in Genesis, and he instructs his readers on how they are to interpret the location of Babylon by connecting it to this place where the Tower of Babel was built back in Genesis 11. And the biblical authors do this in various ways, and it's our job to tune into how it is that they plug into the wider narrative.